And it must be Saint-Jean-de-Luz, and it's Friday the 3rd of May, maybe.
Look at the
or
heron.
Oh, there goes a heron. Anyway, we are heading into the Bourgogne to be hauled out, and the boat is in the state of reparation, as they say in French. So we're coming into the lock, and the idea is to get up onto the Bourgogne where the crane is, because we are to be lifted out so we can also do our bottom. We need a bottom job here. So we've been working on the deck. Ooh. We've been sanding and using the little Dremel tool to dig out the, go to the source of the rust. All our stuff. And we're staying at Gerard and Sylvie's wonderful B&B because we can't live in this mess. And this is actually May 4th, 2007, and it's the beginning of our season en français, en France. There we are. We have a volunteer, a Kiwi line handler here drinking coffee. I don't know if that's legal. And up it comes. So LIVNGOOD is out, and it looks like we have some growth, but not too bad. There's our crane driver, and there is David the Kiwi. Good. And David the Frenchman. There it is. This is David's boat. Okay, here we are in Mâcon on the Saône River, and the bar has just sprung up next to us, and we have a girl singing along with karaoke style music, but she's a pro.
Oh, they all lifted up and...
Yeah. Betsy just counted 15 here. We've just crossed under this little suspension bridge, which is quite cute. Didn't think I would ever say that, but there it is, a cute suspension bridge. So we now looking at a cathedral on the hill, plus a smaller version of the Eiffel Tower.
Lorraine.
Lorraine. And
see if he remembers my name.
Oh,
Of what she
Madame Betsy. Anyway, we're here having tea aboard LIVNGOOD. That's the name of our boat. Bateau LIVNGOOD in the Saône. In Lyon.
That's it.
We're on a floating bollard and we're going down 15.8 meters. And we'll see how deep it is. So here's Tom in the bow. We have life jackets on because the French say we need them here in these steep locks. So we do what they say, or they don't empty the lock for us. Pretty effective control measure here. So behind us we have a sailboat
with a Pekingese or a Shih Tzu.
With a little dog. And there's the sill right there, and then the lock gate is up here. So we're going way down. And this is on the Rhone. Heading south, and we have Gina. Hello, Gina. And Gina's observing all this stuff. And Betsy's working.
My French talking to the lock keepers.
Yep. She's been our radio person. And Betsy's working on the computer trying to get it to do what it's supposed to do for our email capability, saying it's okay to go. A sailboat, just so you see how big this lock is. That's normal right there, no zoom. And it's like we're little bathtub toys here. We're in a big bathtub that's 200 meters long, I think, and probably about 20 meters wide, and down comes the water from the gate.
What are you doing? Let me drive.
Okay. Okay, we're in a whirlpool and the boat is just swirling around. And I was trying to video with one and steer with one hand, and it didn't work. We're now heading into the Donzere Gorge.
We're going 20.
We're going 20 kilometers an hour. How fast are we?
Yes, 18.
Well, let's turn it down a little. We don't need to go so fast. Anyway, the current through here can be as high as 15 knots. So today it's probably about 8 or so. Tom and Gina are here watching. The sun is out. It's like a whole new day, week, month, year. Okay, if you watch right behind that pole, there's the current. We're coming up to a, looks like a smaller cable stay bridge, and then behind it is a new TGV bridge, the high-speed rail bridge, and further on are the cooling towers for a nuclear power plant. So we're in the modern age here in France. So here's the TGV bridge again. This is one of France's 20 or so nuclear power stations that have been operating for years and years without serious problems. Maybe there's a message here for the US. Maybe nuclear can work or should work. Over and out. So we have a pair of Dutch steel boats coming up against the stream, and it looks like they're doing pretty well. There's one in the Baleen lock, which is the deepest lock we've ever been in at 23 meters, 75 feet. So it's going to be like going into the bottom of a canyon. We're actually going down quite rapidly. And up here is the lockkeeper's little house, and the barrier that was at water level when we started this procedure.
Very fun, doesn't it? And that's when you go out. Yeah, no.
So we're stopped going down, and the lock gate is slowly going up. So this is what 75 feet looks like from our little boat. So it's cleared the water. The dam, which is really a hydro plant. So they have enough drop, 75 feet, to make electric power. It is built into the side of this cliff and probably has parts that go into the cliff. We're now going into Avignon town, up a branch of the Rhone, and we have a barge coming out, and behind it is not the champagne bottle from Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it is the Papal Palace, and a big statue on the top.
Yeah, just that.
We're going under, following the yellow diamonds. That's where we go. Where the yellow diamonds go, we go. When the papacy moved here, they built a fortress to protect it because it was under attack in Rome, and then there was a schism with more than one pope. Now this bridge here is the Saint Benes Bridge, and it is broken off and has never been fixed. Had help from some guys, and I'll show you them. There's Tom. So these guys on Angelina 3 weren't too sure about it. They thought we wanted to moor beside them, but we really wanted to moor in front. Dutch boat. And Alegria, which is from Amsterdam, which is smaller, but still a working barge. Back here we have a Swedish sailboat heading toward the Med. We'll be down about 45 feet in this lock. We have this nice cable stay bridge, and behind it we have these humongous windmills. Wind machines that are not working at the moment. There isn't that much wind. But this is an area where the wind does roar at times, so they probably make lots of power. Coming into Arles, we have this huge crane putting in a white substance, which may be gypsum, into a hopper. Look at this thing. I think it's coming from the barge. Yeah. Oops. Also the city of Vincent van Gogh. He spent a very productive year here, but he also cut off his ear here, which gives one an eerie feeling. We're now on the Canal du Rhone à Sète, along the bottom of France, and we're in the Camargue, and these are the famous Camargue horses, the first group we've seen in such numbers. They're generally, when they're born, they're not white, but as they age, they turn white. we have a harvest of thatch for people's houses. Another bunch. We're in the Rhone Set Canal, and we have a VNF barge with a suction dredge on it. So they're deepening this section. And you can see the canal. If you look over to our right, well, looking backwards to our right, you see the lagoons. And looking to our left, we have more water. So we're in a little narrow band of canal surrounded by water. Okay, we have a new kind of bridge here. It's a little passerelle, and what it does, it pivots from over there at that end, driven by the driver. There. And it's, I think, run by an outboard motor. An artistic boat. And then a barge. So we have a Dutch sailing barge.
German flag?
With a German flag. We have a first here. We have a diver in the canal, probably going after mussels or something. Head first. We're in Mez, on the breakwater actually of the harbor, and we have a huge sailboat race happening, and we're right at this mark, so they did really well. Yeah. Here comes the fleet. As far as the eye can see, boats. Okay, we've got people screwing up at the corner here and turning too quickly. Those guys were blown backwards for a while. We're in Agde, which is near the beginning of the canal, du Midi, and we have a very high wind, and we've gone into town and been to church to hear a wonderful organ just by chance. The guy was practicing. And we had a great lunch at the creperie, which I visited 4 years ago, and we have this windstorm, so we're going to stay here. We decided it's just too high and kind of stupid to move, so we're safely tied up with these posts. And so here we're going to stay for the rest of the day. We have this very nice houseboat, or probably hotel boat. It looks like he's using his hook. Oh, very tricky. What a good idea. We need one. One for us. They're using the tree roots with a hook. And we do have a hook, but smaller, to help tie up in this wind. In the last deep lock in Béziers, and we're going up on a pole, and we have a bow and stern line.
20 days. Okay? La maison, hop, no money, no plus pour ça. No eat. Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Want a sandwich?
Yeah,
On to an aqueduct. And this aqueduct is 240 meters long, and it is over the river Orb, O-R-B.
Oh, look behind you too. There's a big cathedral to your right.
Okay.
This is neat.
Okay.
Wow, this is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now look to the right.
Yeah. So here's the river passing under us.
Yeah. This video now.
Okay, then we have the river with all the bridges heading into Béziers. And we're
Okay.
going on the Béziers staircase. Is where we are. Going up. Back there is where we've been. As we say in the trade, a barge du hotel. Hotel barge. It's Fandango. It's this one. We have Tango next.
Tango Fandango.
And then a little boat. Okay, here's the tunnel. And we're just warning boats that might be ahead. There's no light here. So we're going to just continue unless we see somebody coming. This is about 160 meters. Not very big. So the sides.
They look like sand.
Out we come, and here comes the little boat. Okay, we're gaining altitude. We're up to 37 meters. Whoops. We have a dog and mistress going along the path. We're looking out again, and we have vineyards. Almost as far as the eye can see. The chicken guy. Wonderful faces. Here comes the horse. Perhaps horse isn't quite together. Looks like the horse is going after her skirt. Here we go. The horse is getting himself together. There he is. Hooray! quite a market, by the way. Yeah, I will. I'm just... Okay, we have something else happening. It looks like the city council or a club or something. It's a club of the Petite Grise. Snails. There's a nice greeting kiss. Okay, what's your sign say? All right. Merci. Très bon, très bon. These guys are the Orange Capes. Oh, now we have Abraham Lincoln. All right. This little one is early citron. Oops. You can hardly see cars for people. The red one is a huge, I mean huge, Peugeot touring car. And the white is a older, not, probably it's in the 30s, Citroen. The blue car has a boat tail, like un bateau. Now we have carriages here in front of the market. And this is a little trap-like carriage for the driver, and then the passengers sit behind. It's from Germany. The horse is right next to the canal. A beautiful, truly beautiful horse. Here's another beauty. These are small draft horses, not huge, but nice for carriages. We're now back on the Midi, heading into Le Sommel. And we have a line of boats, and we were actually parked around the corner from them, so we didn't have to see them. And we're heading off at 10 in the morning. We've been into town for a little walk, bought a few goodies, including croissants. Coming into town, and we have the green and white barge is a hotel barge, and it's built in 1931, and he takes 4 guests at a time, and it costs him a bunch, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, he's gonna wait. We'll go. Okay, we're in a lock, and I'm on shore, and there's the boat coming up, and we have Betsy at the wheel and Denise at the stern line. Have a professional crew here, and look at the volume of water coming in here. Pretty amazing. Now this is a double lock, so I'll climb up where there's the lock keeper right there, and so what we'll do is I'll come up and receive the lines again. Our last lock for today, and these locks are very fast in their filling. And once we get through, we're going to go on to a little village and stay the night. And we also have a cold bottle of champagne that we didn't drink when Frank and Denise first arrived. and we're going to have it later. That champagne, by the way, is a reward to the crew for their great work. Yay! We're off early this morning, heading for our first lock, and it's just about 9 when they open. And the sun is up and shining, and it's clear. Oops. Over to the side, we have the Black Mountains in the distance where we're heading, and then the vineyards right close by. Coming into the plane trees overarching the canal.
There's some wine for some.
There goes the wood carver, the lock keeper, and we have his creations. We have this guy playing guitar with his pipe, and then the monkey sitting by listening. There's the hen, and another kinetic one. Okay, I remember her well from last time. There she is, still riding her bike in the garden. So we have the bicyclists riding. Yeah, they stopped. This is the entrance to his house. There's the couple. I'm not sure who this guy is. We're walking up to the old city, and here are the ramparts. So we're part way up, almost all the way up actually. And we'll go across the drawbridge right there. Here's it. Here it is a little closer. This is the welcoming face at the drawbridge within the towers. Continuing on and up. We're now inside the chateau, which is very old. And we're looking at how to get in, but we're going upstairs, and here's some interesting post and beam with herringbone brick construction. Okay, we're looking at one of the original archer or crossbow slots. Now in an inner courtyard, small, but the courtyard inside the chateau, which the original fortifications began around the year 1000, and in the 1200s this was built, and then in the war against the Cathars by the King of France and the Pope, this castle was taken. Later refortified and never taken again in 1300s. The very old glass, it's all wavery. That's not such an old head though. There you can see it. At the church actually, from up here at the castle. We're now on the level of the top of the walls, looking out over this little courtyard that we looked at earlier. Now looking at the towers and battlements. So now we're looking out through the battlements at the modern Carcassonne, built at the foot of this castle and out toward the river Aude and then to the canal in the distance.
And the Inquisition.
Further to the southeast with the swallows. And Betsy just was listening to the audio guide and said that the Inquisition was started here. All down top of the walls. Down, down, down we go. And the railings have slits with lights underneath. Très neat, as they say en français. And out at the bottom. From the outside, here are the hoardings where the pigeons are going. And then over here, yeah. Now somewhere up there is Denise. There she is. This is a Gothic group of windows that came from a house in the lower town. These balls over here were used by catapults that could project them 200 meters. That's 650 feet or so. This is a grave of a 13th century knight in his chainmail. Doesn't look like a very comfortable thing to be buried in. The Basilica of Saint Nazar in the old city, this La Cité of Carcassonne. Look at those blues. Yeah, and the reds. Saint Nazar Church again in La Cité de Carcassonne. And the 12th century church of the Saint Hilaire Abbey, which has been closed as an abbey since the 17th century, 1700s. So we're in the cloister, which was built in the 14th century.
Chessboard.
Okay, this is the chessboard. Up on this mantle. Wow. Very interesting. Looking up at the church from the cloister. There it is. Peripatus. And it occupies the whole top of this huge piece of rock up there. And up there too. The chateau, looking up. It's still way up there. Up to the chateau of Peripatus, believe it or not, by road. We're looking across to Kiribus, propped on that little poke of a hill on the edge of the mountain. Now we're hearing some motorcycles as they're coming up, and there's Kiribus over there. And then it's like we're in a helicopter looking down from this viewpoint. And there's the road we just came up. Kind of amazing. Now here's where we're going. Up there. And you can barely see, well, you can, there are these structures built right onto the native rock. On the trail heading up, and now we're on the other side looking up at this huge wall. Unbelievable. And it's a curtain wall, there's no window, there are no windows in this wall. Give you an idea of the scale of this thing, because we're standing on the side of a mountain. Looking at the gate finally. After climbing, what, about 500 feet? Something like that. There's Betserific. So now we're on the top, looking down, and down, and down some more. Down to the village, and then over into the mountains. At the, this is the lower castle we're looking back at right now. And I think we're going to go up the stairs of St. Louis. Up and up. Because believe it or not, I'm not sure I believe it, we're going up there to the upper castle, St. Jordi. We have a reward getting up here. We get to look over the lower part of the castle from above. Although we're going higher, as you can see. So we're looking at the base of the upper castle wall with the flowers, and then looking at the wonderful lichens attached to these rocks. We're put together with a minimum amount of mortar, and they're still here after almost 1,000 years. Looking out at the native rock, look at the fold right there. So chances are this was volcanic rock. And the layers. There are more flowers blowing in the wind here. Aren't they lovely? The wind feels so great. It's a beautiful day, not too hot, but the wind is cooling me down. Now we're a little higher and you can see the parking area and the entrance facilities And then we had to go all the way around the end of this thing and then come up. Cathedral of St. Cecilia in Albi, and we have art, modern, and then ancient from around the 12th to 13th century. Here's the knight's neighbor, a lady. Now we're in the central part, and look at the organ up here. Really beautiful. I'll do the lower first, then go up. Tomb of this woman, lovely woman, with some angels. Cecilia, we see these marks on her neck where she was killed. So she was martyred, and this is her tomb. Another alcove, just to get the size of it, it's going up, then up, and so that arch then supports the windows above. And then it goes up to the ceiling, which is all painted. Where sits, I guess. And so we have these carvings, and then the choir seats here. And we have a small altar, and this can also be used as a place of worship. It has a king, and below a crusader And down here are the Cathars being killed for being heretics because they wanted the church to stop being impure, and they felt that they could communicate with God and achieve their own salvation without priests. God forbid. And looking up at the gargoyles on the sidewall. This church was built to impress after the suppression of the Cathar rebellion or heresy. And this represents the dominant force of orthodoxy at the time. Okay, we'll go and look at the view. Okay, we're looking down, and what we see here is the Tarn, the river, and then up to another church, not out toward the river. So we're on the same little street, and we just turned this corner. Now, against the severity of the brick facade, I think in a later century they added this portico. So this is the main entrance of the church. Now, we're in Toulouse, and we have this monster coming down upon us. Two lights. What he just passed us here at Saint-Sauveur, and turned around. That big boat turned around. We have a very elegantly dressed party tonight. So there they go. That looks like a rat.
Oh, it's a rat.
Maybe a rat.
Yeah, the tail's skinny.
Okay, we're coming to a bridge, and Betsy's slowing down, and there's Elise. They, the two of them, Craig and Elise, joined us last night. Now, we have a red light here going into this, into the aqueduct.
And you have to turn it.
How do we turn? Oh, we turn it. So it turns counterclockwise. Okay, Greg, you want to do it?
Do I go to the bow or?
No. Right to you. So we've got the hanger down thing to tell the bridge, tell the aqueduct that we're coming. The light is red, and so Greg's gonna catch it and then turn it counterclockwise. Because we don't. Okay, there it is. Okay.
How do we know if it turns?
Longest aqueduct in France, over the Garonne River, and a highway too. We have the highway with big trucks. Okay, we're coming up to the Garonne, which is by now a good-sized river, and we're looking downstream toward the ocean. Having transited a section of the Garonne with a pilot. The only spot we really needed him was coming into the lock where there was a wind and then a current.
Wow.
A what?
Big leaves.
Big leaves. Anyway, we're heading up the lot now, which is, we're in the canal part of it, but heading up toward Aguillon still, and we're coming up to our first night stop at Clairac, and we have a mill building on the side of the dam, the barrage, and it looks like, to me, like there's some sort of a barge or something that went halfway over right there. Now this is quite a large dam here, so we're looking for the canal part with the lock.
I think we're looking at this back.
We have the sighting of the lock with the door is open because we can see the water. It looks like it's coming through. And there's the arrow saying to go that way. Nice to see. This is hanging onto a rope because we have this mill building right here, and she has up to now been really tugging. Now it's not so bad. Back here we have Betsy holding a rope through the ladder, and Greg is holding on to another rope, looking bored. We got to switch Greg for Elise front to back next time. Yeah. What? Should we switch Greg to the front? You think he's stronger than you, or are you stronger than him?
I don't know.
Can he be trusted?
He's probably stronger than me, but he might fall in.
He might fall in, yeah. Down, there you go. Wow. There they are now, and zooming in on them on the other shore. So it's probably a good 100 yards easily. This is the stroke she swims in college. My God, look at her go. Oh. Okay, Greg's behind. Look at him go. Wow. Oh my God.
They're stronger in butterfly than anything else.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. Elise came straight across. Woo! Dam over here. And then next to it is the electrical power generating station. So we're getting ready to go inside this cavern. The very deep lock at Castelmoron, and we're looking up at that end to the sill. So we have to climb up. The water has to climb up to that sill. Hi, Crew World. There goes Castelmoron in the distance. And we're attached to a floating bollard that goes up those tracks. And if we go up and up and up and up and up and up, holy smokes, that's where we're going to end up there. And the water's coming up from the bottom like the Loch Ness Monster. And we're coming up into the sunshine, would you believe? Oh, there comes another shot. Woo! Here we go. From close to us someplace, right here. What? It's coming from right here, isn't it? Yeah. So we're getting water from every direction. This side is really pretty incredible. It's coming right out and then to top and looking back toward town and the ridge, and our mooring was along that wall right there with those white things are for water and power. New Orleans Jazz on the lot. It's night, and over at the rowing club we have excitement because they won a match, and they're gonna take their tow truck where they tow all their shells on, and I think they're gonna do an informal parade through town with their drums and their flags. And they've been yelling and screaming now for more than an hour since they got back, having a great time. It's just so wonderful to see this. Lower lot now, heading toward Aguilon, where we'll spend the night and maybe a day or two, depending on what's happening with Bastille Day. We have a little motorboat going along beside us with I think a grandpa and some grandma and some kids. We're on a canalized portion of the lot. We've been on the river lot the whole time for the last week or more, and now we're on a little canal that bypasses the rapids and fast water below Aguilon and takes us to Nicole, where there's a lock that then puts us into the Garonne. Now with Betsy at the wheel, the pilots are leading us. They did not come aboard, and we told them we had a big motor, and they saw the boat before, so no problem. Heading down to the Garonne, and there it is right beside us. And what it is, it's a double lock that he filled both chambers, and then we've moved to the front chamber, so we only have to do one locking operation. Betsy's going down to check our lines, and there are two boats you barely see waiting to come up. Not problems, but obstructions coming up before we get to the next town. So behind us we have a little leakage at the lock door, which is usual and understandable. Okay, we're almost out of here, onto the river Garonne after being on the canal, except for that portion up near the lot and the bays. Away we go. So we're coming out of the lock now, and we have a major road bridge.
Here's a happy guy coming back in Bordeaux. He made it to Bordeaux.
The tide is now calming down a bit, and when it does turn, or about to turn, we're going to turn the boat around and go the other way, because he says that's the best way to be.
Okay.
We had our pier at Begles, and we have a dugout canoe that was made in France, I think, but by a man from Guyana, and it's going to be taken upriver on the incoming tide. As you see, that's the tide rush coming for a wooden boat show, and this one is a little sailing vessel that they're rowing, and the one right behind it is too. Look at this. They're coming on the incoming tide, so it's not a big deal. But this is amazing. Here's a guy by himself. Oh my God, this is organized chaos if I've ever seen it. Oh well, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh. Okay. The people are not organized. That's all kinds of, look at this guy go in his little, it's almost like a sailing canoe. Little dinghy flying, and look at this beautiful wooden cruiser. Wow. Gorgeous. He's using his single oar. Oops, come on. He's gonna make it. All right, somebody's here to help him. Uh-oh. Now he's going down. What? Okay. Yo! Okay, they got him. Careful. Okay, away they go with the motor pushing. There she is. We lent her fenders. I guess they're hopefully, well, we don't need them back. So. That's how they do it. Well, it's how they do it in Guyana too, with an outboard. Looking at the Royal Coat of Arms at Fort Medoc, which was built by Bourbon, who was the premier military engineer at the end of the 16th, early 17th centuries. Inside, through the Royal Port or Gate, here's the plan of the fort. Out is the Garonne, which is our river now. It's a tidal estuary. There's part of the fort with slits for guns, or probably not arrows. And there's the entrance place, gate, house. Okay, we're now looking at the powder room where they stored powder, and the walls are about 4 to 5 feet thick. And here are some of the old wagons stored in this shed. There's one with high sides, maybe for hauling in the grapes. Okay, we're off on a little road trip here. John and Maureen and Keith and Betsy hiding behind the sign. And we're coming into Saint-Emilion in the Bordeaux region. We have a tower up on the hill above this slanting roof. Okay, so there's the tower, and then into the walking street. Where's your sword, John?
Oh, right there.
Right there, yeah. Great stuff. Costumes. Crossbows that might shoot 3 feet. Emilion, looking at the monolith church. Please, monolith. Okay, we're climbing up toward the church. Up at the plaza level where the church tower is, looking out over the city, and then out into the grapes in the countryside beyond where we came up. And there's the tower we've seen before with the French flag on it. So we've just been given a key for this clock tower, and we'll be going up. This is just to show how high it is. second highest tower in the Garon area. So we've just climbed the tower and come out on the view level, and we're looking over Saint-Emilion. And there's the now smaller tower. Okay, so we're looking out probably to the east and over the roofs, and there's another little tower, and then grapes. Posters of the Abbey in Saint-Emilion. Looking up at the roof support up to the tower, and this area is above where we were, and John and Maureen climbed up there, brave souls that they are. This is the church. The ceiling, it's very old, is a series of domes. So we have a very nice light in here, which is coming from this window.